Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you guys the next session of the Boar's Hat podcast. We've been popping it for like almost 40 episodes now. I think we're like getting close to the 40 mark. It's been a long ass time since we started made the channel and shit. But we're here at a milestone for Nanatsu no Taizai. Chapter 300 has arrived, not only as a number, but as a huge uh, plot point within the story. And I'm here with Sundown Rider. What's going on, bro?
Not much, just chilling, killing.
Crazy chapter, wasn't it?
Oh, dude. I mean, like, it wasn't as crazy. I mean, I think it dampened down a bit because I was expecting like something absolutely crazy, but it was looking back at it,
What
it
were you
was pretty
expecting?
crazy. I was expecting like the manga to freaking end the way you guys are going on. It's just like he's just like, oh, the Natsuno Taizai has finished. I'd have been like, what?
Oh shit, mid cutscene.
Trust me.
Yeah, I was I think the biggest part of the hype was the surprise that really nobody had thought about like that at all whatsoever. We had gotten like little hints and small little like cogs of detail that you could technically put into place, but I don't think it was ever enough to like to come to this conclusion that the Demon King that his goal was to take Meliodas' body as a vessel. Um, Stating like examples like for example his infatuation with having Meliodas become the next Demon King, and what that meant in terms of power, and then it was just so weird to have him like claiming that he needs him to like because I believe that we could have seen it as an instance where by him attaining the power of the next Demon King, he would be able to break the seal that is on the current Demon King and return him to like his freedom or to the demon realm or whatever. That's probably like a very very good assumption looking at it in hindsight. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know. How do you feel about the big reveal?
Yeah, like you were saying, like I think there were little suggestions looking back at it now, but it completely blindsided me. I was not expecting the Demon King to kind of the way I saw it was that the Ten Commandments, once someone is in possession of them, it kind of summons the Demon King within you, which is what I assume happened here. So the Demon King was pulled from purgatory because of the presence of the Ten Commandments being together.
Oh, see, I didn't even think about it like that. So it's kind of like a, you're saying it works kind of like a Horcrux to a certain degree.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Essentially, I like the Harry Potter knowledge there.
Yeah. Because I mean, besides the part where he's splitting his, that's
Yeah,
the
splitting
hard
the
part.
soul.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was actually talking to I forgot somebody who was in the Discord the other day, and that same comparison with Harry Potter came up. So we were wondering, whenever Mael was conflicting with the four commandments in his head, and Gowther came to save him, were those essences or portions of the Demon King's personality, or like how does that work? Because it is his power, his original power. It's not some
Mm,
curse or special
yeah.
magic. Yeah, that's his power. So how does that work?
Yeah. I think the commandments might just like I think they just take on a persona of their own, to be honest. I think they have so much power is in each one of those 10 commandments that they have enough sentience to kind of have their own personalities. And maybe that's affected a little bit by who possesses said commandment and how many commandments actually possess them. Because some of them have been used multiple times by multiple users.
So you're saying that the massive power that is a commandment can be molded by its vessels over time, and then probably retain its personal. So it's kind of hard to conceptualize. I see what you're saying. It's just there's so many things that Nakaba's left wide open with this. So I guess to address the actual chapter and stuff, are you sad that Meliodas isn't back?
No, not entirely. I mean, like because I was of the mindset that we were gonna get an evil Meliodas anyway. I think last podcast I might have said something like that.
Uh-huh.
Can't really remember. So I thought we were gonna get an evil Meliodas anyway, and we were gonna work towards getting the Meliodas we know back. So for me, it's I think that's why it was kind of dampened. Like even though he's the Demon King, which completely blindsided me, I was expecting an evil version of Meliodas anyway. So I was expecting some sort of Demon King and an evil guy. But yeah, and I'm quite happy with the fact that now we're going to be kind of working towards getting Meliodas back, essentially. But I'm not too sure how they're going to go about doing that.
See, I think I can't hold the same viewpoint because I think it's been more than 10 chapters since we've seen Meliodas. Um, and don't get me wrong, the fight that we had between Merlin or Stigma and the demon forces, it was pretty badass. But like, uh, there was something like peculiar missing in it. Like, I don't think we ever got a big fight like that that didn't involve Meliodas. Even the flashback before, he was involved to some degree. So like, I'm not saying that maybe the fan base or my own perspective has been skewed because of the absence of Meliodas, but there's been a lot of factors as to why people have not been liking like the past five chapters, I believe. Like the Merlin situation got a lot of dislike. Escanor giving up his commandment got a lot of dislike, which granted they're big moments and obviously the fan base should have their own perspective on it. They have the right to be outraged or loving of any moment, but I can't help but feel like the absence of Meliodas has something to do with that. Is there any basis there? Like,
Yeah, definitely a basis there. I mean, like having he's a character that I'm pretty sure the entire fan base likes. That there isn't anybody I've met yet that says that they haven't liked Meliodas, that he's kind of too broken or too hacks. He's a likable character, and having him outside of the story and kind of being separate from the story for a long while now, because the last time we saw him was Purgatory with Ban, I think,
yeah, yeah,
and that wasn't even complete Meliodas. The last time we've seen Meliodas in his like entirety was when the hell was that?
shit.
When he got killed by the commandments, and that was the last time we saw like true Meliodas.
Yeah, I guess it would be that. Yeah, or yeah, it would be that. Huh.
Because the closest thing to him after that would have been when he came back from Purgatory and he was kind of crying to Elizabeth.
Yeah. Uh, I, I, I just don't want to make it, or I just don't want that to be true. Like, cause it's not that I'm saying that Nakaba has been writing these last few chapters weirdly than the rest of Taizai, or that I just want to blame everything on Meliodas. But like, there's got to be a reason why people aren't liking everything so much. Like even this instance, what sparked my thought on this idea was when you mentioned that, regardless that it's Meliodas or the Demon King, we were gonna have an opposing force that was gonna be indomitable to fight. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I've been, I've read through both the times that we went to Purgatory, or that we've had instances of Purgatory, whether it was Meliodas when he first died in front of us, whether it was whenever the Demon King was watching through Hawk, or when Meliodas actually got there. Bond and Meliodas' first encounter with him, the second encounter, the final battle. When I say this, I need your help in particular, to like clarify these ideas, because
Mm-hmm.
this could be what happens next. I don't think the Demon King is unbeatable.
Let me just put my phone on silent. But yes, yeah, I agree with you completely. There's no way that it would be stupid, and I'm gonna use the word stupid, for Nakaba to write himself into a corner where the Demon King is unbeatable. That would just be completely and utterly stupid.
Well, through further evaluation and from what people keep telling me, we're already at that point. If we stack up the powers the Demon King has, what is it? His own mass of power that's equivalent, if not greater, to the actual Ten Commandments in their entirety. Now he has the Ten Commandments. While he was in purgatory, he was getting stronger by consuming all the things around him and stuff. Um, he has knowledge of all spells. Technically, he hasn't used all of them, but he has knowledge of all demonic spells. He has the ruler, not the power of God, but the active ruler, which is even more menacing and incredible. what, like, is he really like beatable? Like, I said that because I'm trying to be hopeful, and I found one or two things, but like, is the Demon King really beatable?
Hmm. See, I made mention of this in my live review, my live reaction even. Hey, shout out to Graham. But yeah, in my live reaction, I mentioned that the best way to defeat the Demon King in this situation would be, we've already seen Meliodas display some sort of power that has taken off one of the Demon King's arms back in Purgatory. Now he has both of his arms back again. But for Meliodas, we need essentially a body for Meliodas to come back in. I think that's what Ban is essentially trying to do. Because I'm thinking the story might go this kind of way, and everybody's free to disagree or agree. But I'm feeling Meliodas is the part of Meliodas' soul that is within now the Demon King's body. I feel like somehow, some way, especially with Merlin being there, they're gonna extract that, and they're gonna have to try and put it in some new body or in some other body, something else, because Meliodas' emotions need to come back to something. And if they go back to his original body, which is where the Demon King is currently, then it's just going to be some weird individual fight between like the mentality of Meliodas versus the mentality of freaking
Yeah,
um,
which we
the
all
Demon
don't want.
King. Yeah, if it turns out to that, that's going to be quite shit because they did that in Fairy Tale, where it was like the Dragon Slayers versus Acnologia in their minds, and then his physical body was fighting everybody else. That was a shitstorm, and I really don't want that. So I think with Ban and Merlin specifically being there with his snatch ability and her magical prowess, they need to separate Meliodas from his current body, fuse him back with his emotions, which might happen automatically if they're in proximity, and get a new body for the guy. And then he has his ability, which he lopped off the Demon King's arm with, and he can team up with everyone else there. The only issue with that is that Mile is bleeding out. Merlin is already quite knackered. She seems to be fatigued. Has already said he's fatigued. Elizabeth is possibly the strongest of everyone there at the moment in terms of how much of her ability she's used. Escanor is basically useless. Galtha is basically half dead. Escanor, I've already mentioned. Mael, he's bleeding out. Reducia, I think he's disappearing. Who else do we have?
I think that's about it.
I think I
Hawk,
might be
yeah,
missing
yeah,
some. I'm missing Diane.
Diane.
I think Diane's pretty. She might actually be pretty energetic, to be honest. I don't think she's expended too much of her energy, but she does get bitch slapped into next week.
I'm not
So
expecting anything from her, but
yeah, I mean, like, it's Diane is Diane. Like, I think I think I actually said that in my reaction. Diane is Diane. We can't really expect much from her, but that's the way I'm thinking. Meliodas coming back into a different body and then just teaming up with everyone, but everyone else seems to be really weak at this point in time, so it might be difficult. But I don't know. Unless I'm really not liking this. So unless Meliodas somehow gets a hand on Grace's, then that would possibly solve the issue. But that's going down a different kind of a storyline.
I personally, I'm under the same kind of idea as you. I I don't believe that his feelings have returned as of yet, which is weird. Um,
Hmm.
but because we didn't get an exact timescale for when Bond returned, it's not gonna be certain or exact. So that's why I'm currently under the assumption and belief that because Rudisell, Mael, all these different guys are like they're able not Ryan, excuse me, Rudisell, Tarmiel, Sarmiel, they're able to survive and exist outside of like their physical bodies inside of those vessels. That it has he has to be able to return in that form and state. Like uh, what's it? My bad about that. I believe Meliodas is gonna return outside of his vessel to exist like Rudicel, Tarmiel, and Sario did. If they can do it, I believe that a demon should be able to do it as well. Whenever Fraudrin was possessing Dreyfus and Hendrickson in their first encounter, um, Dreyfus mentioned when Rudicel did it that he had the exact same feeling, the exact same aura, and the exact same aroma that was going on in that instance occurred here as well. So I can't help but believe that all the training that we got in Purgatory, the reveal of this new power that can, without commandments, without anything else, can affect the Demon King itself, which I believe is Ark, he has to return as a combatant. I don't think we're gonna get the same like emotional struggle that we got for our fucking Mayo and Galther already, or for the other stereotypical stories that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'd hate to see that.
I would hate it as well. So that's I'm. It's not that I'm pushing that he's gonna return with his own body, but I don't see another alternative. Now I have heard the perspective that like it's gonna be lame to see two Meliodases or like all this other bullshit, but like I really don't know what else we could come up with besides some supreme deity bullshit.
I mean, like, the only vessel, in quotation marks, that would be appropriate for Meliodas right now, if he were to come back, in that sense, would be Zeldris. And it would depend on whether Zeldris would be willing to give his brother his body. And seeing as they both seem to have kind of a distaste for their father, I wouldn't be so against that, to be honest.
Before we continue, what's up, Zarso? We can't hear you, bro. Yeah, you might want to leave. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yo, all right.
Yeah.
My
Before we
bad.
keep
I don't know
going,
what happened.
we'll give you a second. Tell us your thoughts on 300 and uh, yeah, your whole perspective on that real fast. Be right back.
300 overall was definitely like the most hype we've had in a minute. I mean, Cap 300. It's been a minute. It's been a while. Since the beginning, and looking back on it, overall, this chapter had me just super hyped for Bon. I remember when Bon, I remember Bon asked Escanor, "Why are you standing so calm and composed?" And he was all like, "This is a privilege for the mighty," and literally comes back with that exact same pose. Uh, I'm definitely just hype up for the next chapter. Um, Other than that, I was actually very happy to see the Demon King just rip through a perfect barrier like toothpaste. Like that was actually pretty cool. That was actually pretty funny.
Um, all right. Um, all right. So we were at the moment we were talking about plausible ways to bring down the Demon King. So I'll ask you first. Um, do you think the Demon King's unbeatable right now, or do we have evidence that he can be beaten?
Um, That's a good question. Damn. Assuming that assuming that he takes the ruler with him in this form, I would assume that he's pretty damn powerful, about as powerful as he was in Purgatory, save for his advantage in size. Um, Other than that, is there a possible way? Yes, if Bond is capable of like using gift without like draining his own actual life force, just using like and I guess like taking that life force and turning it into like magic. That way, it makes more sense of how you can use gift now. Other than that, it still kind of seems grim in this case because it's like it's really hard to see if they can really step out of the situation. Like again, like you said, it in like earlier streams, like this is the motherfucking Demon King. Like not many people can just stand up to him like it's fun. I personally don't think like if Bond is able to use gift on Demon King, then we have a shot. But other than that, physically, I don't see it unless
Are we
Bond really did
assuming
get that powerful.
are we assuming that the Demon King is as powerful as he was in Purgatory?
Uh, to a similar scale, the only difference is, like I said, like he doesn't have that size to him. I think it was the same way with Diane. Like she, even in her small form, she's still as strong, just like she doesn't have the size with her.
Yeah, because I was under the assumption that Demon King was back at 100% because he's got the 10 Commandments.
Yeah. He, did you have a different opinion, Zarso, than that?
No, no. I mean, like, it's a similar opinion. Like, yes, he does have all of his power and everything. It's just that, like, to me, the Demon King in his full size is a bit more intimidating than the Demon King in a smaller size, only because, like, well, rather, I mean, it seems like he's more intimidating, but it doesn't really. But again, like, it doesn't. To
Agreed.
me, seeing
The
him in
perception,
that,
yeah.
like, in this form, like, yeah, like, it just doesn't seem as he's as intimidating as
Yeah.
he was in the big gigantic form. But like I said, it could be completely different in the next chapter. We don't know.
I was actually like talking about that as well the other day. That I'm not necessarily. I like Meliodas' new appearance, but I think you put it exactly how it is. The Demon King seemed exceptionally more intimidating in his original form, in that big ass, huge body with the helmet, his beard and shit, his eyes all cracked, dead with nothing in like, big ass like it was. That's my Demon King. That's not a Demon King. So until Meliodas like, or until this form shows us more, which has been with before we get into, we haven't even gotten to the chapter yet, but with one swipe, he destroyed a perfect cube. I
Crazy.
Yeah. So it's to be seen what we can pull out from the situation. Um, but let's hop into the chapter a little bit before we. Today, by the way, viewers, today we're going to be covering the actual discussion as we're doing. And at the end, we're going to go through a 301 prediction. So stay tuned to the end to find out what's actually going to happen in 301, because you know we got the facts, three facts. We already got that shit in there. So aesthetics first though. Meliodas' new appearance. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he looks dope. Looks so good. Like, I was getting some Power Ranger vibes, some kind of like Arthurian Power Ranger. Like, he looks dope. So cool. Saints Color Rush colors. He's wearing white and gold and black. We're all good, man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a bit taken back by his full body appearance. Like, I remember in 299 we were like, what the hell is that? Like, behind him, is that his leg? Is that his arm? Is that his ass cheek? We didn't know what it was, and then we found out. Yeah, and then, like, we ended up finding out that that whatever that weird appendage was is actually like darkness that's creating like a metallic thing outside of it. And I think that coincided with what we talked about in earlier podcasts on how Esterosa was capable of creating like objects like metallic weapons out of darkness. And then when he got his commandment, he was able to create several different objects out of like what we can assume is darkness, seeing as how, like, they took more of a commandment side, since, like, again, like, they were using the power of the commandments, uh which I thought was interesting, just to kind of, like, uh just bring us back to. But other than that, appearance wise, he reminds me of this one character. I think it's Finn McCool. And apparently Finn McCool is supposed to be like his dad, like reincarnated or something. It might be Finn McCool, it might be another character. But it was like, yeah, it was like somehow, some way he was like reincarnated into his father. So, like, I was thinking, like, that might be where Nakaba might be getting like some of this inspiration from. Either that, or this is just the plan, and, like, it's just coincidence sake. But I mean, since that myth does come from, like, the same region, I just figured it was something to point out. Other than that, I'm not too much of a fan of the long hair. I figured that we were done with the Esterosa male stuff. I guess we're not. Um, I always did fuck with Meliodas' green eyes. Like, I don't know why. Like the blonde hair and green eyes, like, just like the Super Saiyan vibe, even though he's not a Super Saiyan, even though, like, he acts like he's a Super Saiyan, even though he's not a Super Saiyan. I was like, dude, stop fucking with me, dude. Like, just stop. Just stop. But overall, it's cool. I don't know what, but seriously, like, the Demon Clan, and like this tight suit, like these tight fitting stuff, and the armor. I'm like, I don't
Let me
know.
ask you guys a
Like,
question.
it's like Cusack. It's like Cusack's
Why
get up.
why why does Mayo look like older Meliodas?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's like, dude, they are. There is some shed blood between Meliodas and Maya.
I don't
I
want to.
think it's
I don't want to
I
push
think
that
it's just
whole goddess and art thing again, but like,
well,
there's nothing else I could really think of. Why does an aged Meliodas, which I'm assuming this is what it is, that's why we can connect it to the wanted poster, because the wanted poster is I was told it's an assumption of Meliodas as he's aged. So, with that being the case, why does that aged poster look like Mael?
There has to be something going on there. I mean, like, the Cub has been selling this for a long while now. A
Well,
long time.
because I want to say, let's think about the first time he was mistaken as Meliodas, right? Because like he was always said to be Meliodas, but no one knew if he was Meliodas because Meliodas was supposed to be older. The first image that we get of Meliodas isn't him, but it's actually his wanted poster. He's not stated to be Meliodas. He's never until he calls himself Meliodas. Is he not Meliodas? So what you see is that older picture, and that's what you have to go on. Off of that, when we get Esterosa, like in our heads, the way he was depicted in the first couple of panels when Elizabeth is seeing him, and then of course when we actually see him when the demons are talking about like the big hole at Edinburgh. That's when we see him. There's a similar appearance, but we've seen characters say that they're not necessarily alike. To the reader, they look alike, but to the people in the actual series, they can see like some of them can see a difference between Meliodas and Esterosa or
No,
male
agreed, agreed.
because
And
because you
uh-huh.
nah, yeah, because I was gonna say like like you see Bond and Purgatory say that like yo, you guys don't look anything alike when they're talking about Esterosa.
Yeah,
It's like you guys don't look anything alike,
yeah.
which to
Mhm.
me which to me was odd because it was like everyone else says they look alike, but for some reason other characters are like no, they don't.
Bro, okay. I'm willing to accept an argument where Nakaba has some limits with drawing or whatever, or some bullshit like that. But no, I can't take that. There's plenty of characters that look differently. There's plenty of
Yeah,
even his actual brother resembles him, but it doesn't look exactly like him. So I can't just tolerate an argument of where like, oh, the characters say they don't look alike or whatever, or oh, he wanted to draw the two main guys
I
similar.
mean
Like,
we can
they,
get deeper into it. We can get deeper into it with this one fact: Bond and Hendrickson. They both look very alike, but we all know that they're not the same person.
what?
Like,
I've
hear me
never
out. Hear me out.
mistaken the two.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. Right, like the design of like characters, right? Like character features that would essentially like lead you to believe that oh, these two characters look like. When I first saw Hendrickson compared to Bond, I was like, oh, these two characters have like the same eyes, but they're not necessarily the same character. There's a certain feature to Meliodas compared to Male that seems similar, but at the same time, you you can still tell the difference between the two. Like for example, I would say that the one thing that got the two characters mixed up is the hair more than anything else. The hair.
Okay, I can accept that, but what I'm saying is that whether it's one feature or not, there's no excusing the fact that us as viewers with human eyes outside of this
Mm-hmm.
book see that they look almost exactly alike. And as Sundown pointed out, this isn't the first time where we've had like appearances mean something in the story, and them not be connected in terms of like information that Nakama gives us. He could be hiding it, very well hiding it, or some information. I'm
I
inclined
mean,
to believe he's
I
hiding
mean,
something.
yeah, like yeah, because like those are the parallels, and like I said before, like there are myths where it's like, oh, like you, like again, like with Finn McCool. Well, I want to say it's Finn McCool, but I think it might be someone else. It might have been uh Push. It's either Push or Finn. One of those two characters. But like I said before, it's like they were mistaken to be someone else, and then you have another character. Heck, if anything, it might be these two individuals specifically, where it's like one is supposed to be like his father, and the other one is supposed to be like seen as someone else's son, because there's no way they could be that cool and not be that person's son. That right there was Finn. They thought that Finn was was son of his father, Finn,
All
because
right.
Finn was cool back in the day. And then you have that other contrast where it's like, oh, you were like somehow twice reincarnated as your own father. So you might be taking different pieces, not just Arthurian legend, but different British folklore, and kind of like twisting up a, con- a convincing story, which would also you work with how he uses different appearances, in which like like sell that, where it's like, oh, these two characters do look alike.
All right. Um, we'll put that to the side because I don't think it's whatever. We'll see what Nakama does with it.
That's just a long
Another
discussion.
major point came with Zeldris. Now, Zeldris, as we all know, the promise of Gelda. Last chapter, Nakama put a strong emphasis on his endeavors just for that. Um, during the war when before he used Omnis Nebula, he was thinking about just like succeeding just to get this,
Hmm.
and now it's been removed. How did you guys feel about the situation?
I felt bad for the guy. I mean, he's been working his ass off for one single goal this whole time, ever since Meliodas came back and kind of took the throne from him. He's been working hard to get to that. And now the one person who kind of disagreed with him having that kind of goal, his dad, is back, so he knows he's kind of fucked. And for all intents and purposes, his dad probably doesn't even know where Gelda is. So even if he did want to let Zeldris know, he probably doesn't know himself. And just the way that Zeldris worded it this time suggests that Gelda is alive, because he says, "Where is Gelda?" rather than last time where we thought she was dead.
Uh huh.
I agree. Simply because of the fact that, well, one, like, it would be really fucked up if Meliodas were to actually, kill his
Kill her,
brother's
yeah.
girl. Like, just because I remember reading Edinburgh, and like he was thinking back on Zeldris, and it's like the only thing he had were fond memories because he was admitting to like his faults, and the whole conversation with Gelda like in the first place, because he had known about Gelda for a while. That's what Edinburgh essentially did. Like it introduced to Escanor, and the fact that Melios was in fact a demon, and his whole thing with his brother. Not only that, but I mean, it's kind of like ironic, like both brothers, kind of went after these chicks, and at the end of the day, his dad didn't want them to have either. Like he's like, my sons are my tools. That's all they are. It's kind of like he fucked both of them over without either of them even knowing. Like they could never get one past their old man. That's bad. That's sickening.
Yeah.
That's sickening.
Yeah, and my
I
only kind of concern here is um, that the Demon King, obviously, he's not allowing two of his sons to go with races other than the demons. Is it that they're not demons that their father has an issue? Or is it because he treats them as tools? Because their father, for all intents and purposes, has had two children, has sired two sons, but we just don't know who with.
I
Yeah, I don't know, man, because it's. Did you mute your background or no? It's just
oh my
you.
bad, my bad, my bad.
You're good. Um, I don't know, bro, what his dynamic is, cause in it's interesting when you guys read the chapter. I'm using the manga C translation, and on page 6, the Demon King says verbatim, "O Zeldris, your heart is still bound by that blood-sucking vampire of a woman. Not only Meliodas, but you as well. I'm just utterly dumbfounded by how you could allow yourselves to become like this." So, it makes me believe is is he holding a grudge about something like you're mentioning? Because it seems like he may have a personal experience or like a literal personal vendetta up against these feelings. Because it, like Meliodas told us, wasn't it Zeldris that fell in love first before he met Elizabeth?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
exactly. So I'm not saying that the Demon King didn't want them to have women with them, because it was only when the vampires rebelled that he allowed this to happen. And then it was only after fucking Meliodas betrayed them that he fucking cursed Elizabeth. So, is any of this personal? Like that not involving the kids? Is there something going on with the Demon King himself in terms of like the relationships? Or is it just because these women are ruining his plans?
I would say uh the former. He definitely has an issue with these chicks kind of like affecting his sons because he clearly has a plan. Like his plan was to get the body, and do what he needed to do. But at the
No,
same
but I'm saying,
time,
is it because some girl like hurt him before, or like some
I
shit
wouldn't
like
say
that?
that.
Or
I wouldn't say that because I mean, like, look at him. He uses people. I don't think anyone's ever got anything past him. But at the same time, I feel like when it comes to like his sons succumbing to their emotions, their baser emotions, besides furthering their agendas of evil, it's just, what are you doing? You're supposed to be evil, and like not getting affected by emotions. Like, what's wrong with you? And like you said, when the vampires rebelled, it's like no, like kill them, and he even knew that, like, yo, like Zeldris' heart was bound to Gelda because he didn't kill her; he sealed her.
What do you think,
That
Sado?
like
Yeah, I mean, because the one of the two things, there's two reasons why I think the mother of Meliodas and Zeldris hasn't been mentioned, and it's either because she plays such an important part or has such an important role within the story, i.e., if she was like the supreme deity or some shit like that, that everyone would just go apeshit and Meliodas's and Zeldris's powers would like be thrown into question or something like that. And then the other option is that she's so insignificant that she was just there to birth Zeldris and or Meliodas. And I think it might be the second one.
yeah, I would agree because like I said, it's like he's not he's not a nice guy. Look at him. Like the first image we see of him is already terrifying as it is. Like you really think he's gonna like, oh yeah, like a girl once hurt me and now I'm the demon. No, that's
I mean,
that's that'd
if
be
it
petty
turned
for
out to
him at
be that,
least.
if it turned out to be that, that would be kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Um. All right, so let's keep the chapter moving then.
One thing on the appearance.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys get like an Iron Spider vibe from the Demon King?
An
And
iron spider.
oh, from
You know what?
Spider-Man.
Yeah. I see what you mean. But I mean, like he's supposed to be a god, so it's like, oh, I shouldn't have to sully my hands and like whacking around peons.
That's the part that I
Yeah,
like least
exactly.
about the design, though. Cause like the commandment marks all over his body are cool. He even has one of the dragon symbols on one of his
Oh no,
biceps.
I think like with the transformation that like his tattoo got warped, like because like you remember he was like a little kid with that on and it was like all nice and not warped and now it's like all big and it's black like it's been fucked up.
Hmm.
No, I'm talking about there's on page
I know, yeah,
7. There's you see the full image of him from the front, and
yeah.
he's got it looks like the dragon mark or the dragon wrath mark on his left bicep, but the rest of them seem consistent with commandment marks. But the arm thingies is what I'm talking about. That they, yeah, they're Iron Spider things, but I don't really know what sense it makes. Like people have been comparing it to we've seen silhouettes of Meliodas previously, um,
Hmm.
and they're trying to compare it to see if they look somewhat alike. They don't necessarily do, but it could be a contrast. Um, because this form that we see right now from Meliodas, it's this way because of the commandments and his power, his transformation and stuff. But I'm still wondering, like, to go with what Sundown's saying, if Meliodas loses the commandments, right, or if these commandments are not there, or if like Meliodas actually returns himself, right, in his feelings form, is he gonna be in an adult form or is it gonna be in a child form?
Hmm.
It'd be a
Well,
child form, right?
If Meliodas reclaimed his body,
No, no, I'm
uh,
saying like if his feelings got a body, right? Would they
oh
be?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, child form, yeah.
so that so the Demon King entering his body removed the age curse from him then too.
Hmm.
Technically, his curse should
Does
be
actually,
broken,
yeah.
correct? I
Say that
get it.
again.
I get this is like kind of like a lot to assume, but like he's aged, and the reason why he couldn't age before was because of his curse of immortality. So that's what I'm saying. Because Meliodas is grown, this is in fact because of the presence of the Ten Commandments and the Demon King. So, what if the other Meliodas is still return? Is he going to be in an adult form, or is he going to be the child form?
Hmm. See, cause
Maybe he keeps the form, but they cut the hair. That'd be nice.
the Japanese thing with cutting hair. No, I'm not a fan of that, to be honest.
I
Um,
I mean, because like honestly, like again, I get it. You want to copy the male look, but it's like it's not. It's no, not for the kid. The kid had like a nice. He had like a nice shortcut. Like again, like you see the kid. He's like what, like 15, right? Like 15. Maybe like even younger. He's like a short ass little dude with like a short haircut. This long stuff. I don't know what this like this rock ensemble we're trying to like put together, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of the long hair.
yeah, I think. I think if with Meliodas' emotions, if they came back, I think there would have to be a vessel for them to possess. So I'm not sure if they'd have like a default state in terms of a child or an adult.
A vessel?
Yeah, because they don't have their own body, do they?
A vessel.
Or is
Interesting.
it
You saying that we need the vessel?
Escanor?
Yes, sir.
I mean, Escanor is. Escanor's kind of bloody right now. I wouldn't say that's the
Bro,
best.
the
The best option.
fanboys would. I don't even know if this is a proper word for it. Like, cause the apocalypse, bro. The niggas would cause the apocalypse if Meliodas got inside. Like, bro, you know how strong feelings Meliodas is right now. Like,
So they would need a proper host, not someone bloody with not and not capable of even like using his own powers while the sun is still up.
Yeah, and I'm saying that this is exactly what we were on right before you came in. I'm saying we have an appropriate vessel just sat down, pissed off that his father's returned, and his name is Eldris.
wow.
Nah.
Wow.
He's still conscious. I would call that an ass pull. You need like a vessel that's
My nigga. You
need
really.
What? I didn't say anything. I'm just
Zeldris as the vessel.
Zeldris as the vessel. We got Bond there. Imagine Zeldris as the vessel. Elizabeth's right there. She seems to be full power. All she needs to do is pop a little spell, and Zeldris is back at full health. We good to go.
Oh shit.
Actually, no, he was already healing too. Like what's it called? His darkness was starting to come back on after his injuries because his darkness stopped, but then like it started back on when he was getting up because like he got up from the floor, like from last chapter. And it seems as though he's already starting to heal, but I mean he's already just kind of shocked. It can't really do anything. That's another thing that people don't necessarily notice when it comes to like very emotional moments in Taizai. Some characters do lose the ability to uphold some things. For example, when King found out that Lane was actually like saving Bond and like unpetrifying him, like he lost control of his spirit for a second. You never see King lose control of his spirit, almost never. And like that moment right there, boom, stuck in the ground.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good observation. But yeah, I think Zeldris one like an injection in the right ass cheek of invigorate.
Come on.
And he will be back.
We'll see. I mean, is he? Think about it. That's his dad. I'm pretty sure he understands more than anyone else exactly what's going on. We don't know exactly like how ballsy he is compared to his brother, because his brother don't give a fuck about his father's rules. Like fuck that old man. But Zeldris always been the good boy, So we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know if he's actually gonna do nothing,
I feel like this latest exchange with the Spirit Spear and then Mile in terms of Zeldris, I feel like that was kind of his debut in the sense of showing how unlike he is to Meliodas, in the sense that he was willing to go balls to the wall in order to try to get back to his one love, which is Gelda. And more than anything, that was what kind of reminded me that these guys are actually brothers. So I'm hoping we'll get to see more parallels down the line, and we'll get to see Zeldris look at his dad and think, you know what, the dickhead's taken it a little too far. It's time to break out my whip.
I'm glad you said it up like that. You said it like that because that's yes, bro. I've seen so many parallels between all three of them, Demon King, Meliodas, and Zeldris. Like their stances, some of the words they choose to say in terms of dialogue. Um, it's so cool. It's so cool to see Zeldris and Meliodas be compared. So I'm not at all for any instant opposed to Meliodas coming back in Zeldris' body, but I kind of want to see all of them fight together, bro.
I don't know about that. I just it just seems ham-fisted, Like
Yeah,
again,
I get what you mean. I would prefer if
only because I can't picture only because I can't picture exactly how the emotions or rather like what is going on, say, within Meliodas, I guess at this point, if Meliodas is actually like really like if he's actually there or if he's like still on his way. or if he's like where exactly are like Meliodas' like emotions at this moment. That's the mystery here. No one can say that they know exactly where they are, because all we know is that the 10 Commandments are inside of Meliodas right now, and because of that, that's like one half the Demon King, which is basically the Demon King, and he has full awareness of what has happened in Purgatory, which means that he's clearly here in I guess like the Prime Realm, or rather like in Britannia. Like he exists within Britannia right now. We don't know where Meliodas is. I guess you could say his conscience, his individuality, where his spirit essentially is. We don't know where that is. So I would say that's probably the reason why I don't know if it's okay to say that he's going to be, or rather, like he might just, I guess, like dwell within Zeldris in order to, I guess, combat his father. I mean, again, it's as likely a possibility as anything. I'm just saying that for me, it's kind of hard to just imagine, only because I can't even picture what's going on behind the scenes. You
All
know?
right.
Yeah, I mean, like anything could happen in terms of I mean, like it could turn out that Merlin has some freaking spare vessel. She could pull out an Eisen, and just be like, oh yeah, or freaking Urahara, and
I
just be
mean,
like,
hey,
yeah, I've got this
I mean,
body
hey,
lying around.
hey, we got a fresh vessel on Mama Hawk right now. Boar's Hat's got one right now upstairs in the attic. Just kind of like floating and shit. I'm just saying, he's.
We do,
I
we do
mean,
got, we do got
we,
Galfa.
A dog.
mm,
Um,
we
the
do,
next
but
the next big part I'll probably talk about is Bond. Uh, Bond at the end of the chapter, a long awaited return since he got back from purgatory. Um, old boy, old boy is back. So
mhm.
your thoughts on Bond's return, and then we'll discuss his return, and then we'll get into the 301 predictions. What's up,
All
man?
right,
Yeah.
all right. So Bond's return. I'm happy. This guy has been in and out of the story so much, bruh. This guy, like, he pisses me off to no end, but I love him, and I want to see him actively take part in whooping the Demon King to an extent. I don't want to see the Demon King get his ass whooped, but it's about time he's actually contributing to the story. We saw him come back from purgatory. I was like, yep, time to go, and then he instantly went and did something else. So for me, I feel like Ban needs to explain where he was, and there's only two reasons why he'd be away. So
Mhm.
he should currently have either his sacred treasure, which would be an aspal, or he should be in possession of Meliodas' emotions. That would quicken the story big time. So I'm really excited for whatever Ban has brought with him, whatever he has at the moment. I'm excited for him to be there. He's lost his immortality, so it's fun to see what's going to happen there. But he should be in possession of Meliodas' emotions, I think.
Uh, Personally, it looks like he came in empty-handed. At least from what I can see, he's got his hand in his pocket, so you don't know he's gonna, so you know what's in his pocket. Uh, I What I do know is that the sins, certain ones, can call the sacred treasures from very far away. So we don't know exactly. We don't know if Bond's actually strong enough to literally like find his it's like literally like sniff out essentially his sacred treasure from across Britannia. That would actually be a feat on his part, seeing as how he is the greatest thief in the world. He'd never lose his own shit. It's kind of that would be kind of an insult. Someone stole from him.
Rob a thief.
It, think about it, right? The Foxen of Greed literally went and found his own sacred treasure because you can't steal his shit. That's kind of, again, like I said, if he were to lose his own stuff, Bandit Bond, the undead Bond, the greatest band of all time, come on, no way, no way. I'd believe it. I'd be perfectly fine if he were to literally call Kyrgios from a mile away and you find out who has it and what they're doing with it and have it tear through their entire body and literally like tear across Britannia, right, causing all kinds of mayhem, and then just boom, snap in his hand, do a couple Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee monologue type stuff, activate it, do whatever ability it has, go crazy, boy. Like story's about to end anyway. Might as well
Yeah.
pull out all the stops at this point. Um,
Um. Uh.
he might also just real quick, he might also be token some of the power that he stole from all the demons that he's been tearing apart, because I mean at this point we can only imagine he can definitely handle more than, like, let's say 20,000 combat class points from Gallon for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He's not even comparable. Um, and actually, Purgatory Malia just laughed when Bond said he wanted to come back as strong as any of the commandments, but I'm pretty sure he's exceeded that by far by now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does in the battle. He came in with a speed blitz. I'm not sure if it's speed blitz. It could be zero sign. Somebody mentioned to me, but either way, he snuck through past the Demon King and got that. Um, we know his speed got crazy because of the species in Purgatory. They had some pretty crazy speed feats, and he was able to replicate that by the end of Purgatory. So it's not unprecedented to see Bond doing some like crazy ass flash steps. Um,
And like I said, he could be powered up too. He could be powered up from
yeah,
all the things that
his
he's been
physical
killing
strength's
because
gonna be crazy. Um, his fighting capability should be even crazier because he's been fighting once again without a weapon or without anything for
for more than
hundreds.
1,000 years.
Yeah, over 1,000 years. So.
Dude, if Merlin brings out Kuroshu's, I will be pissed.
Hey, look! She had it all along. What's the problem?
Bruh.
I'm telling you, I would like the former. That Bond is so powerful now that he can literally like hunt down his own sacred treasure by scent, essentially, you could say. Where it's like, get your ass over here, and literally, just like Escanor says, bend to my will, Rita, and from wherever it is, starts flying like Mjolnir, and boom, catches it instantly.
Yeah.
That right there, that'd be tight. Because he did the same thing with his weapon when he fought Gallon. So I can only imagine.
I mean,
Okay.
I would definitely agree with you guys if Merlin has Territus, I believe it's called, or the his sacred treasure, uh, it'll be official bullshit. Like, there's no reason as to why we haven't had that. It's kind of like the whole Diane bullshit thing. It gave us an explanation about that, but it's not, no. And it highlighted that Nakaba didn't really have a stronger role for Diane in terms of things. Um, Definitely that was the most and the greatest opportunistic of times to have Diane do something like that. But I felt like
Yeah.
she's been in several perilous situations where she should be able to use it, or it would have been opportunistic to use it. And
Oh,
if
lightning rod from Thingy, right?
yeah, and if we get into a
Yeah.
situation here, obviously this is the battle. We can't really predict that there's going to be another big battle. I've heard that Taiza is going to end sometime in the summer or sometime by the end of the year. So I'm not expecting another final battle after this. Anybody's going to show up, anybody's going to power up, anybody's going to fight, is going to do it here. Whether it's a deity or
Maybe.
not, whether it's nobody else or not, it's going to happen here. So I don't get how, unless that was the absence, that would make sense as to why he was absent for like those chapters. I know Sundown said that like we didn't see Merlin give him the location of where it was or anything like that, but that time period is going to be the explanation as to how he has his sacred treasure back. I'm almost positive. If he has it, it'll be because of that time period when he came back, took a lane, probably fucking in the horse hat. It was like, oh shit.
Who said that?
Found your sacred treasure the other day. Type shit.
Found your
Lady,
sacred treasure the other day.
lady, I found it right here. Oh, it was under the bed. You dropped it.
Dude. Nah, I would not like that. That would piss me.
You know, be also scary. You know, be also scary. What if he's had it the whole time but just didn't want to use it? Like, what if before he was caught, like he lied to them. He was like he actually had it, and like I guess like I don't know, like he stored it in like his arm or something,
Nah,
and
bro.
like he just kind of takes it
Man,
out or some
just
shit.
died in front of him, brother. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Oh, it was
Yeah,
always in my chest.
Yeah,
Crazy.
to be honest, he was vaporized by Asterasa, so we should have seen like his nunchucks just falling.
Hey man, hey man, you never know.
Bro, he just splattered, vaporized, everything, bro. Whatever's in his pockets, that shit's gone now.
Wait, actually, oh shit! Wait, there's one guy we've forgotten about when we were talking about everyone ganging up on the Demon King. The original demon should still be there. And
he is somebody who technically exists. Now, I'm not gonna be the one to say that Mael's greater cruel son killed him. I don't believe that, but
his greatest son.
yeah. But as you can see, he's not here. So, I would say be careful with your guys' predictions for this shit, cause
he's coming back, boys. He's coming.
I mean, you can only imagine how much damage Mal gave him. I can only imagine where he landed. Honestly, like let's be honest, like think about it. He land. How far did? Because remember when Escanor used Cruel Sun on Estarossa, they flew. They flew like through some mountains, through some distance, into the water, boom, and then that's the last you hear him. He flayed him alive, and now we see Mail just really toss him and just punt across Britannia. Where did he land? Where is he now? What is he doing? How is he feeling?
He's got 4 legs, man. He'll come back soon enough. But I'm feeling because if you took a great sun to the face, which is what happened, his what's it called? Is it his? I don't want to call it climax, but it was called climax in the manga stream version.
Crisis.
Crisis, yeah, that's the one. Thank God. But his
Oh,
crisis
damn.
should be near like maximum right now.
I forgot. Somebody
You
stop
forgot.
this, bro. Fuck.
So his crisis should be at max output right now. I mean, like he just got blasted, and he's already rebelled against the Demon King once. Who's to say he's not going to try and kick his ass twice? I mean, like he wanted Meliodas to become Demon King partially. Cusack was in his head saying, "Nah."
Yeah, don't
Zeldris
let him,
should.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bro, the fact that shit was said immediately before this happens, bro. This nigga's like shaking his head. Oh yeah, no, who said that? Who said that? Is that Kusak's soul breaking through? Like, I want to believe that that's a capability, but he just got fucked. And the truth of the matter is that the way that he just got beaten was so quick that there's got to be another reference to that. You don't just off a character like that without having any relevance to the situation.
Oh,
So,
but when I say Arthur wasn't off, right? It's like nah.
what do you mean, bro? We got a
think
whole
it's
chapter of Merlin sitting there crying over him. His death is justified. It's set up to be a return, but his death was justified in the moment. So that's why I'm saying, like, the OGs for a character of that enormous significance to the story came back or started off as two characters united as one, was a huge force the entire time. Half the reason as to why we're hurting out here, and he gets beat by one attack from some guy. No, he's got to be alive, but I'm not gonna be the first to say it.
Oh, come on. Hendrickson got slapped by Meliodas and he was still alive. Come on now. Obviously. If Hendrickson can survive, the original demon can survive. That's how I see it.
I like that.
If he has to rampage across Britannia, tearing apart villages, cities, the demons that are literally working under him right now, along with Holy Knights
Bro, he didn't get thrown
scattered
that
across
far,
whatever.
bro. He got hit right there, bro. Come on.
That was the greatest, son.
That
Okay,
that nigga's in Camelot. It wasn't. But it's not like
so.
the other one that of the Cruel Sun that we're talking about, where he's able to detonate it whenever he wanted to. He detonated it on him.
Yeah, but let's be honest, right? Okay, so he detonated it on him. Grim, let me ask you a question. What happens when, like, you get hit with like a blast? Normally,
No,
if you
bro,
if
I
you
know
can't
what you're
stand there,
saying.
you're gonna get set
I'm saying that when Escanor did it, and when he hit Estarossa and sent him over the lake in like an instant, he didn't detonate Cruel Sun. It held his form. While this Cruel Sun was detonated on top of him, and we've never seen a Cruel Sun go off to where like.
But it wasn't on top. It was like towards.
It was in him, bro. He was in the Cruel Sun. Like he was in the Cruel Sun. Whenever that day, he was inside of it. He went on that shit.
That blast was huge. You didn't see anything. It was just white. It was just annihilation.
All right, let's make the bet. Whenever the OG demon wakes up, he'll be in Camelot.
We always make a bet. We always make a bet, and you lose, and you don't.
Let's do it, bro.
Hold up to it.
What you mean? I hold up to it, bro? It's on stream right now, bro. What's up?
So when I sent you that timestamp on that last video, then what happened?
I changed my name
to Big Bitch.
To whatever, yeah. Something. Look, bro. This ain't about all that. Look, bro. Let's make the bet right now. If the OG demon wakes up, which he may or may not, he will be in Camelot.
I bet. I'll take that bet.
All right, bet. Name change.
All right, name change.
All right, cool. But since we're on that,
and Sundown is here. Sundown is here as a witness. Sundown is here as a witness to make sure that no one can deny this, so that when you're wrong, right? So that when you're wrong, you can't even weasel your way out of this, right?
All right.
Okay.
All right. So chapter 301 predictions. Sundown, lead the way.
God damn. All right. So Bond's gonna pull out one of a few things. He's gonna pull out either Kurishus, which would piss me off. He's gonna pull out Meliodas' motions, but I'm doubting that the more I'm thinking about it. Or he's just gonna pull out his penis from his pants and start his work on the Demon King. And so I think instantly they're gonna start fighting. There needs to be some sort of hint towards Meliodas returning in some shape or form. And I'm not sure how that's gonna go down. Whether his emotions are somewhere in the vicinity, because with Meliodas' emotions, everything that comes back from Purgatory comes back the same way it went in terms of entrances and exits. So Ban came back via Hawk, and Meliodas died and entered Purgatory, where he was killed by the Ten Commandments, right?
Yes.
So would his emotions spawn there?
That you know what? That's also a pretty good argument. I'd even think about that actually. But
So
was it there, or can we assume that the Escanor might have killed him a little bit more too, or is he all good at that point? It was just like a intense fight? Because I always figured that by that point that injury kind of just like tossed a couple, like some spare emotions left and right, because it's like, gotta get him a little bit closer.
no idea. You could be right. There might be like separation of him. Actually, but then that would mean like there are two sets of emotions and stuff like that. So then it'd just be a little bit harder to deal with. But if Ban had that kind of same logic, I could understand him going and collecting the emotions from that area. So that's kind of why I'm dancing with the idea of Ban having the emotions on him. But yeah,
But
they gotta
form do they
start fighting.
take? That's the thing. Like you say that he has his emotion, but like what form do you see him taking?
Well,
Or what his emotions being taken?
do you remember when Metasula took out someone's soul?
Yes.
She took out multiple people's souls. I assume it's going to be something very similar to that.
Well, I mean, he has had like one out of body experiences, with when his soul was actually like out of his body and everything. So
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, it's possible. Dude's been to the capital of the dead.
Yeah, it could be that. Any more predictions?
Predictions. I'll say it again. The legendary thief, literally, rather the legendary fox, sniffs down his favorite stick, and beats a grown man with it. Either that, maybe some speed blitzing to just to show how just show off how cool he is. Probably get Hawk over to Elizabeth so he's not so baked and charred, because he probably smells amazing right now. And probably heal a couple people if he has enough power to do so. I'd say he'd probably be able to heal some people. I mean, like I said, he's supposed to be like the Grail Knight at this point. If he has a gift and he can literally heal people just by touching, then yeah, he's definitely the Grail Knight. So he has that ability. He definitely has the ability to heal people at this point, I would say. So he might be. So if anything, he might get Merlin back to like a better state. And then they can, probably plan a better course of action. Maybe another fight in a perfect cube. But then again, dude rips perfect cubes apart. So
Yeah, we'll see more properties of his capabilities as well too.
And if Elizabeth is worth anything, she should heal most of the people there to at least like halfway.
If she's not still bloody on the floor, like she was oh my god,
but,
this chapter, she was so leaky.
But we'll see. We'll see what that turns out to be though, because there's some more shit that could happen.
She needs to put in some work.
I personally think. I think Mael's gonna play a minor role. I think King's gonna play a minor role. Diane should play an even more minor role than those two. Rudisell should play a main stage role. Bond should play a main stage role.
Rudishell's scared as hell right now.
No, it's because he's dying. That's why he's gonna play a large role.
He's scared as hell right now.
That it's because he's dying as to why he's gonna play a large scale role right now. Do I have to repeat my prediction again, Zarso? Damn, bro.
He's gonna go kamikaze.
We'll see.
I don't foresee anything from Hendrickson. As you stated, Elizabeth should be primary as well. Merlin might take a backseat, but I'm waiting to see the Demon King acknowledge her betrayal, because she's also one who betrayed who's betrayed him. So I'm interested to see what the confrontation is going to be like. How capable she is in contrast to him. It Next chapter should be everything. We may get one or two more emotional things, but we should get into the battle chapters pretty soon. So I'm excited for that. But besides that, I think that's pretty much it for 300 and 301. Great climaxes. Spoilers. I think the spoilers are out already, right?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay. To the Discord for
I don't read 'em.
spoilers. And the chapter should be out like Monday, Tuesday. Friday.
Hopefully,
Thursday?
hopefully, I would say.
Break this week.
Hopefully.
Yo!
Crazy.